Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. Do you guys like the new intro? I think it's fantastic.
That was
Uh,
pretty
I
cool.
wanna I wanna give it up to our guy Oz for obviously hooking it up and doing an amazing short but sweet intro. So appreciate you, Oz. To everybody there abroad as well that watches us, thank you for your support. Thank you to everybody that's watching right now. Over 10 people live. We have a packed show today. So let's go with the topics real quick. We're gonna be, I mean, we were about to just go live, and we got the word from Foodie Headlines, which 10 out of 10 times they're never wrong when it comes to kids leaking. And we got a picture from the One Piece, I call it the One Piece jersey, the gold, the gold, the Grand Line golden chest, gold kit, um, the new jersey for the new away jersey for Orlando City. We're also going to dive into Iago, finally, the Iceman, Iago Teodoro coming into Orlando City. Also, Nolan Miller signing for the Lions. Robin Jansson, the injury that David broke here at the pod last time, unfortunately was confirmed by the club. The things that I got from it too, which we'll discuss further, is it's not a really good scenario, and we'll dive into those. There were some preseason scrimmages and preparations for the 2026 season, which is really around the corner. So stay tuned for LPO. We're live. Drop us your comments. Thank you for your support. I'm here with John and with David. John, what's up, my friend? Good to see you again.
What's up, man? The jersey, officially the
Right?
season has started. For me, it's like a marker. It's kind of like Groundhog Day with the groundhog popping his head. Like until Footy Headlines leaks the jersey, the season hasn't really begun. So here we are, and I can't wait to get into it. One day as well before the jersey reveal. Like that's gotta hurt. That
That's
sucks.
gotta
I
hurt.
feel for them as someone who used to do that job. That sucks.
Still go to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, still look amazed tomorrow. And like, obviously, we'll talk about it, but
now the picture I don't think is gonna do any justice. So if you know Adidas, when the kit that John has right now leaked, the when that one leaked, it leaked on FIFA. It didn't even leak on Footy Headlines. And people were like speculating, saying, "Hey, how's it gonna look?" Obviously we missed the lavender kind of color of the white. It wasn't really a total white kit. So just keep an eye on that. David, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I mean, what a way to start Monday. We already had a full slate, and then bam, Footy Headlines hits us with this gorgeous thoughts on this thing. I might be in the minority here based on what I'm seeing online already, but I think Orlando City killed it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm excited for Monday. We're 1 week closer to kickoff, which is friggin' awesome. I'm counting down the days at this point. If you follow me on social media, I put that post out and said, NFL season done. All these other seasons done. It's all about MLS, baby.
Yeah, and also, looking at the kid, which I have a picture here. I don't know if you have it ready, John, but I could share it. Um, it's hopefully it's not very yellow. It would be. There you go, right there. I think John has his too. Hold on, let me take mine out real
it's the
quick.
same, pretty much.
Yeah, there you go. So, hopefully it's not as bright yellow. It's hopefully it's more of.
Is there like a pattern in there? Do I see like a
Yeah, it's like a
sublimated
lion
Yeah,
lion
pattern.
it's a
inside of
line.
that?
Yeah. It's a line. It's like mane is like kind of like flowing out like into the sleeves and down towards the bottom of the torso. Yeah.
I like the white and purple trim. I think that's really cool. I like the purple Adidas logo. I like a lot of things about it. The yellow gold color can't be judged until we see it in person, like we
Correct.
said, like Louise said.
Yeah.
So
It's very Laker-y right now. So I hope it's more
yes,
gold than
I
it is
mean,
yellow.
I
I
personally
thought it
like
was gonna
it.
go like white gold, but this is yellow gold. This is treasure gold for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, says not a fan of a kit right now, says Landon. Need the
Landon,
club
come on,
picture.
man. Give us a moment. Let's see it on the players. Let's see it in person.
The pitch looked fine when they're Saturday. Says Death Walker 407. Has anyone seen the pitch? Is it still looking good after the stupid cold snap? I believe it's
It's a
still looking
brand
good.
new pitch, so
Yeah.
should do.
Copacetic Buddha says loud and proud. Let's go. Tuning in is the best way to start the week. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Mr. Donnie Moore says, "What's up, fellas? Nice new intro. Appreciate you, sir." Basically, Keith, thank you, sir. Beautiful intro, gents. Good to see you all in good health on a beautiful Monday evening. Thank you, my friend. Says they should have gone with Jersey Bird for for the new kid. I mean, I heard that there's also going to be a third kit coming, which I'm not allowed to talk about, but it's going to be it's gonna bring a lot of memories. That's all I'm gonna say. But especially for the OGs, if you're listening, you probably know what's coming already. But yeah, from 1 to 10, John. Right now, just out of the picture of footy headlines, compared to the other ones,
It's
you've
so
worked.
hard for me because it does come down to the yellow. Because like, I'm not a big yellow guy, so and I always think like a gold kit is. I think it's risky. I think it's kind of like Marmite. You kind of either love it or you hate it. So I think there's some people who are gonna love the yellow gold color, and some people are gonna not like the yellow gold color. It's really hard for. I like the trim, like I said. I like a lot of the things about the jersey. For me, it comes down to how yellow is it in person? Is it like a nice but goldy color in real life? In which case, I like it. Is it really yellow? In which case, I'm not so sold. I'm gonna give it right now like a 7.
What about you, David?
I think I'm a little bit higher. I think I'll go with an 8. But with the context that, guys, yellow is my favorite color. So yellow, gold, that whole thing. So this speaks to me big time. So the other thing too that I want to give it that I don't think we kind of mentioned is like it's not white. So like we finally went away from doing the white kits. I want to applaud the club and Adidas for going away from doing the white kits.
It's
Sort
more
of like
exciting for sure.
Yeah, and sort of like John said, I like the purple accent of the Adidas logo being purple. Like even Orlando Health being purple. I wonder what the numbers will be on the back. Will it be purple? Will it be
Probably
white?
purple.
It'll be that white and like white letter, but with a purple outline, I think, to make it stand off the yellow.
Yeah, so I think it'll be interesting to see. I think this will come in more gold looking than it does here for sure. So that's why I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But I haven't done this in a few years, but this might be an insta buy for me. I'm not even joking. I think that's kind of where I'm at.
You see how the lion like yellowy gold? I can't remember what they call that. There's a name for it. Like I can't remember. It's like sun yellow, sunshine yellow or something. So I think that's what they kind of gone for the
I
whole
just think
kit.
In total, we're gonna have a really nice sort of like field of kits, especially when the third kit comes out this summer. I think it's rumored to be. So like we'll have a really nice like range of kits. And I think this just kind of fits in nicely with what it is. Yeah, I'm excited for this kit. I know some people are going to be down on it, but I'm kind of here for it.
I love it. I think I mean I guess I'm a little biased because I love the Lakers, but like
see, this is what I mean. If you like yellow, then you're like
One
this,
Piece
you're
also.
into this kit. You know what I mean? Like I think that's where some people won't like yellow, and then they instantly won't like this kit.
It's gonna be weird playing like the LA Galaxy with that kit though. But definitely I like it. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Because I really like that they're trying to be a little different. I like the whole gold concept. Obviously with the gold concept, a championship has to come behind it too. You know what I mean? Like it cannot be like, remember that time that they did the whole hunt, what is it called? Ready to Hunt, or we lost everything, and like we
all teeth.
Yeah, and then they released the Ready to Hunt or whatever. They did like scarves and things like that. I'm like, hopefully it's not like that, but I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's not gonna be a very like in your face yellow.
Yeah.
We'll
I think
see.
with this sublimation, it could be really cool in person. Like I think about the Orlando Pride kit, they
Mhm.
did the authentic for that 1 year, like last year, and in like when you see the pictures, you're like, oh, it's a pretty cool kit. But then when you see it in person, you're like, wow, this kit is like beautiful. So maybe there's some of that going on here.
Yeah,
I
it kind of
hope
gives me
so.
vibes.
I
It gives
hope
me
it
vibes
really
of the
impresses in person.
Luna kit, right? I think that's what it was
Mhm.
called. The one that
Yeah.
like that one I
Yeah,
thought was
that
really
was
cool.
that was awesome.
Sublimation. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you saw it and you're like, whoa, okay, dang, that's cool. I think this is what it's going to turn into. Like when you're there and you see the line, like imagine Iago dunking on the opposing team, and then he's wearing this kit. That's the kind of vibe I get here.
And then just gold falls from the stands. Like
Exactly.
there's just treasure everywhere.
Exactly.
I like that vibe. I think that's fun. I like the treasure gold theme. We've never done that. Like we've never had a gold kit. We've never really explored the gold in the logo from MLS days. Like, so I think it's exciting. It's different. Go for it. Roll the dice.
I
It's
remember.
gonna
I
be more
remember
interesting
when
than a
the
white kit for sure.
I remember when the Sunshine kit came out, and people thought
Mm.
it looked like the rising sun from like like the Japanese the rising sun. And I was
Yeah,
like,
but it was
come
cool.
on,
It was
man.
cool because it was different, right? Because we kept
I
getting these like
loved it.
plain white kits, and it was
People
like,
look
give us
back on. They
something.
love that kit now.
It's
They're
one
like,
of my
oh, that was an
favorites.
awesome kit.
Yeah, it's sitting in my closet, like right over to the side here. So absolutely.
It's one of my favorite kits. But like, we have a comment from Spicy Gnocchi on Twitter. It says, "It's not black,
Spicy.
everybody.
It's
It's not black,
black.
everybody. Everybody
Not
was
yet,
guessing it."
Spicy. We're getting there. We're gonna
No.
get a black kit. I'm
Like
feeling it.
the summer, everybody knows I posted about this. The summer, we're gonna get a third kit because we're gonna be part of the Adidas like retro third kit. Everybody's getting one. So if you can add 2 and 2 together, and I've got some visual clues on for you guys today
100%.
as well. Basically, it's gonna be a red kit, guys. It's gonna be a red kit, but it won't be until the summer. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
If you're an OG, you know that Orlando City's very first colors were red and white.
Luis,
And
we can't do this though because my wallet is not going to be happy about this year if we keep putting stuff out like this. You know.
I know.
No,
I'm like a
no.
one jersey a year is my promise, but if you make a good like a gold one
Yeah.
and I have to buy both of them.
We're in
I'm
trouble.
gonna have to buy both of them too.
Yeah.
Now, I have a
And
question
then
for
there'll be some
you.
manatees jersey or something, and they'll get me then as well.
Oh, yeah,
So
done again.
just it's the meme. Just shut up and take my money. I just throw the cash at the register.
Do you feel they're gonna bring out the 3 lion, like the original OG logo, the refurbished OG logo?
They should.
They should, in my
Because
opinion.
if you look at the ones they did last year for like they did one with the Dallas. Remember they did the Dallas one where they did like the old Burn logo, and they even
Yeah.
did one for Miami, which was ridiculous because like there was no Miami team. It was a different
Yeah,
franchise entirely.
Want to put 2
But
eggs?
of course
eggs
they wanted.
happened?
They did like the throwback one in the old. It's like the Florida. It's like the South Miami colors or whatever.
Right.
So I think they're gonna lean into the red and do probably this logo and really push to like make it look like the old original red Umbo Crick from 2011. That was.
Oz is watching and says, "I had prepared a preview for the red kid. I wish it had been red." Well,
It'll be red in the summer, Oz.
Yeah, in the summer.
The third kit will be red.
The third. Kenneth Allen says, "I hope we get a black kid."
Oh,
There
with you,
go.
Kenneth. With you.
One
Via
day.
Carlos, I like it. Basically, Keep says it's certainly a bold kit. I think he'll grow an arrow and just give it time. Yeah, I like it. I personally like it. I think it's fine. I think it's gonna grow on people once you see it in person. I don't think this picture, which is actually being essentially recreated also with a creator. So it's not really the legit jit.
Yeah, and I think we find out at 11 tomorrow. I think, right? That's all the hints that they've been dropping is like 11 o'clock.
And if you go and you buy it there, please take pictures of you wearing it or your family or whatever. And I'm saying this right now to everybody that's watching. If you go and you want to be on our social media, we will plug you like straight up with wearing those jerseys. Like we'll and if you want to send us a DM with your name and stuff, you want us to mention you, we'll do it. We'll share it. We'll retweet you with your handle and all of that. We just want to have as many people wearing it. So if you do that, man, that'll be great because that'll give us a better idea how it's going to fit.
Well, and what I was gonna say, like about the 11 o'clock thing, I get it. Like you want to put it out there early in the day, whatever. I think it kind of takes away a little bit from the launch event. Like it's still gonna be an event, it's still gonna be a celebration and all that, and I get that. But like, I liked in the past where we just be like, nope, gotta come to the event. You want to see it, you gotta come to the event, and like I thought that was cool. But I guess everyone's just because it seems like the whole league is doing the whole like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. We're putting it out there. Here we go.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it is like league mandated and like whether there's like certain times with Adidas where they're like, hey, we're gonna put it on sale this time anyway. So
yeah,
I don't know how it worked out, but the event tomorrow, I'm gonna go down to that. So anybody who's there, come say hi to me. Come, say you're an LPO watcher. Love to chat with you guys. So it should be cool. I'm excited for this bar that we talked about on the last pod that they've created. So I think, yeah, like agreed, there's not that big reveal moment, but it's also not the biggest venue. So maybe they were just kind of thinking, let's put it out online and then people come to the event to kind of just have a nice celebration and party.
It seems like it's going to turn more into like a block party if like that.
I think they have to because it's not a big place, but Thornton Park is set up for that perfectly right outside those doors. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I have a feeling it is too. I mean, it's going to be a great time. So you should go nonetheless. Like even if you guys see it, at 11 o'clock when the club puts it out, and I'm sure they'll have photos of the players wearing it and all that kind of stuff.
There'll be players there, and like I'm sure like you'll be able to buy it there. Like they always have a scarf, and I like because there's like each year the jerseys come with like a matching hat and scarf and stuff.
Plus, I'm a sucker for a hat, so I'm
a gold hat. I don't have a gold hat.
I'm getting that too.
That might be a buy straight up.
I'm gonna be broke. Yeah. Oh, actually, my birthday's coming up, so I'm gonna have to tell my family here. Hey, hook it up. Yeah, but
all right. That's everything I got on the jersey, guys.
Yeah, same here. RSVP for the event, but never got a confirmation back for tickets. Anyone know if I'm supposed to get some?
Yeah, you're okay. As long as you RSVP'd, you're fine.
It says, I'm going with the family. We'll be buying 5. Well, take a pic, and then we'll put it all over social media, Mr. Kenneth.
Love it.
Basically, keep sidebar. Will you guys be at the event at the pub next Monday? I believe Max and Spicer are making appearances. I can't make it, unfortunately, but
we'll be here next Monday.
Yeah, we'll be here. Yellow Ranger, Black Ranger.
We need all the Power Rangers.
Wow, you imagine if we win something with
you're speaking to the right generation with that comment right there.
There you go.
A star would look perfect on this jersey. Luis, to finish that thought. A star
would purple star there. You'd have to put the purple star on because you wouldn't see a gold star.
For sure.
100%. So we're gonna be now diving into obviously going from the gold kit. We're gonna dive into some of the news that we've gotten the past few days. Obviously, I'm talking about the signings of the Brazilian core that we have, Orlando de Janeiro, like John liked to call it. Thiago, Luis Otavio, which arrived last week, and also Iago Teodoro, or the Iceman, as they call it. So I think definitely this is Iago is joining as a U22 initiative player through 2028 and 29. He's been the captain of Brazil's under-20 squad in the 2025 FIFA U20s. He's 6'2". He's a modern center back, very physically dominant, and he's able to play out from the back with speed, according to a Flamengo source. 13 appearances for the U20s. Also has played in Flamengo's first team. Had a couple of stints there. He is the Copa Libertadores Golden Boot. So that means he was the best player in Copa Libertadores. So, I mean, from the whole entire South America, the whole continent, the whole mass of land, he was the golden boot of that tournament of Copa Libertadores, which is huge. This is the reason why Flamengo fans were like, why the hell are they doing this to this kid? Why are they sending him to the MLS? This kid should be in Watford. He should be in Bournemouth. He should be in so many other teams. Like, why are they doing the MLS? But the guy you see right there wearing the bomber jacket, he has a huge relationship with Flamengo. He's a Flamengo fan himself. He knows a lot about the academy. He was able to definitely give him an offer they couldn't refuse, because otherwise Iago was going to walk on the free. So for starters, John, what are your thoughts on the arrival of Iago joining the young Brazilian core that we currently have?
I don't really have anything new. I know we talked about it a lot, and just, I mean, for me, we were desperate to get this one over the line. I think my big question is, how quickly can he get into the team and in the back line, right? I think probably for the New York game, Miller might be ahead of him next to Brecalo, but I expect Iago to claim one of these center back spots pretty quickly, and I think it's going to be great for him to be a starting center back from the get-go in MLS and really have time to bed in this year, and then next year potentially go on to looking like one of the better center backs in the league. I feel like that's the kind of level of player that we've signed here. A lot of people excited about this one, and a lot of teams around the league were like, hey, this is a guy that we would love to sign for our MLS club. So yeah, welcome Iago. Let's go. More Brazilians.
No, after the unfortunate news of our captain, the Viking, Robin Jansson, being sidelined, David, how do the news of Iago coming into fruition now as an Orlando City player? What does it sound to you? What does it mean to you? What are your expectations?
Yeah, I think obviously number one, glad that we got it over the line, because we paused there for a little while, and we knew it had to do with some of like Flamengo's business and kind of what they were doing and how they're trying to structure and whatnot. But I mean, again, I want to give Ricardo props. The rumors about the fee were all over the place throughout this entire process. At one point, it was up to $3 million. It went down a little bit. It sounds like, according to Flamengo sources, it's 1.4 million with a 30% sell-on clause. It is not 50%. There's a lot of markets out there saying it was 50%. It's not 50%. It's not nearly that high. 30%, I think, is kind of a steal for us, considering
that's pretty standard, right?
Yeah, 30%. That's pretty good.
30% is a little bit bigger than normally.
It's normal. Usually it's 10%.
Yeah, 10, 15% is normally where a lot of teams will hit on, but we gave them a little bit more, but I'm okay with that, because you're going to make that money back on this guy. More than anything, like we've kind of said last week and throughout this process, no insult to Thiago or Luis Otavio, but this guy's the man. And you're going to see it rather quickly. And sort of like John said, if it's not the first game that he's ready for, it'll be shortly after. And I feel bad for Nolan Miller, because I just think Iago's just going to force his way into this lineup, and there's no question about that, especially with Jansson sidelined and with Dusan not working out. I think you're going to see this guy kind of do his thing. The biggest thing, if you haven't had an opportunity, by the way, I did post a in-depth article on Iago on the Loud and Proud website. There is a wonderful 3,200 words that you can read about Iago on there. But as always, I put a lot of visuals and things like that. And I think the most eye-opening visual that I saw throughout this entire process is, go look at his aerial duels won. The guy, not only in the U20 league, not only in the U20 international games that he played in, and including his time with the first team, which he didn't have a ton of games with. He only had 6 throughout his entire sort of career at Flamengo. The guy had over a 70% aerial duel win rate. And I don't mean that as in like he only had 5 duels and he won 4 of them or whatever. No, this guy was second in the entire U20 league between all those U20 competitions in terms of aerial headers in total, in terms of challenges. He was second in terms of aerial winners won. And then he ranks, and then in general, he's at the 70th percentile, like 70% of aerial duels won. This guy is going to get up and win balls, period. And I don't know that even with Robin Jansson healthy, that we had a center back on the roster who would consistently get up there and win aerial duels, which is what you need in that back line to go do it. The other thing I'll say, too, is I'm sorry, but he's not 6'2". This dude is easily 6'3". I think he might be 6'3.5". I think someone's lying about his height a little bit, to be
he's still
honest.
growing.
In that photo, he looks massive.
Yeah,
Next
he's
to
ginormous.
He looks huge next
so
to.
that's why I like to call him the Ice Mountain, because this guy
Yeah,
looks like he's built like a
beefy.
freaking mountain. So that's kind of why I look at it that way. But that's number one for him too. But then sort of like Luis said as well, like he's good with the ball at his feet. And the really nice thing too is that he can play both sides of the center back. So he can play as a left center back. He can play as a right center back. His time is almost even at both of those spots. So that's awesome. And then last but not least, the guy is known for scoring headers. He can get on the end of a header like nobody's business. And so that just gives you another weapon on set pieces to get up there and try to put it away. I don't think we've had a center back that's been decent with putting balls in the back of the net since maybe the headmaster himself. I don't know. Like, it's been a while for us to have something like that. So I would really love to see him come out when he breaks into the first team and just give us one of those potent abilities to just say, yeah, you're going to have to mark that dude. And if you don't, he's going to put it in the back of the net.
You know, there's pros and cons for a lot of things, for a lot of players. But you're talking about spending over almost $9 million on three prospects from Brazil that have been really highly regarded all over South America. It's tremendous. It's a tremendous steal. Number one. Number two, I understand the fans sometimes may have some sort of doubt, just like they did with Pasalic, just like at some point did with Ojeda, just like at some point they did with a lot of the players, Zakardan, and you know, and now they're fan favorites and they're forever Lions or whatever, especially Zakardan. So either way, you know, you got to understand the way how the club signs. The only difference I will say of these youth players that they've signed compared to others, in my opinion, just like John puts here, is Orlando de Janeiro. The only difference I see that it's striking compared to others is, number one, the quality. The quality is apparent. Is right away. They have better numbers. They've been playing first team minutes. And another thing I see is the mental toughness of these players. So before, we would sign kids like Ivan Angulo that have been loaned everywhere in the entire Brazilian Brasileirão, shunned into being not even depth. Like he was passing out the Gatorade, passing out the wet towels. You know what I mean? He was having no minutes. He comes to Orlando to build himself up, to be important, to be part of something. These kids have not passed the Gatorade at all where they came from. These players are mentally tough. They've played minutes in the first team. They are promising. They play for their national team. So that is a huge key asset for MLS adaptation. Now, you know, God forbid, yes, something could happen, a meteor could strike, you know, the world, you know, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of things could happen, but based on what we have and what David said, and also what John mentioned before, I feel these are better quality U22s, some of the best. I don't know if you feel the same, John, or not.
We spent a lot. Like I said that before. If you look at like what we would have spent on Cesar, or compared to what we're spending on Luis Otavio, we were getting Cesar for like half the money when he was like 21 years old. Like we spent, you know, I think it was a 3.5 million on Otavio, and he's like 18 years old. So you have to think about it that way. We're getting better guys who are younger with more potential, more sell on. So I think, you know, we talk about how you have to use all of the mechanisms within the league that you have to be able to build a roster as best as possible. I don't think we could build a better U22 roster for me. I think, you know, for what we are and what we do, I think we've never had better U22s than we do currently. Like, we haven't spent 20 million on each of them, right? Maybe only Inter Miami would go and do that, spend 20 million on a U22, but for what Orlando City is and what we seem to be willing to spend, I think that we have spent, like we said, 10 million just on our U22s is a vast improvement on before, when it was like almost nothing. Often they would be a free or like $1 million on a guy.
Now, let's dive in before going to the next topic. Let's dive into the pros and cons of the Brazilian young core. This Brazilian young core, and why is it a core? Because you have a striker, you have a mid, and you have a defender. That's why it's a core. So high potential. We already mentioned that, David. You know, they spent over $9 million. They'll fit under Oscar. The resale value, it's upside is huge. Now, what do you think are, maybe for you at least, some of the cons to rely heavily on this young core? Or do you feel maybe there's no cons at all? What do you think of these three?
Yeah, so let me say this. There is obviously with any young group of players and things like that, and Orlando City's hit rate on U22s has not been great. Let's get that out there. That is 100% correct. Our hit rate on U22s has not been fantastic. Enrique and Cesar are probably your two best examples of players that hit, right? And even Cesar fell off for us at the end, so you take that with what it's worth. As I've been saying the entire time, especially to people who say we haven't done anything this offseason, and again, I don't want to spark these people up, but I'm going to talk to you for a second here. What this does is it raises the floor of what your team is. Because like Luis said, these are not players that we're spending $1 million on and hoping with a prayer and a hoofing the ball forward that these players are going to offer us something, right? Unfortunately, that was kind of what we did with Nicolas Rodriguez, right? He was a guy we
100%.
didn't spend a lot of money on a team that was not a very big team in that league that he plays with. He might have been one of the better players on that team, but a different scenario, right? With all of these guys, these are guys from not only quality big teams in Brazil, right? Each one of them. They all have first team minutes as well, which really you can't, put anybody else up against. And then also, to me, except outside of Iago, they're all in positions where if they need a little bit more time, it's fine. Especially for Thiago and Otavio. They don't need to be pressed into service right away if they're not needed to. Now, I'm convinced that somebody like Thiago is going to break and push his way in there because I think the skill set that he has is going to allow him to do that. Otavio, as you guys know, our midfield is stacked right now. We've had so many players added to the midfield that Otavio can take a little bit longer if he needs to or wants to adjust, right? He can go and do that. He's also the youngest out of the bunch. He hasn't turned 19 yet. He's still 18. So again, it might take him a little bit longer, but he's going to get there. For Iago, unfortunately, he's not going to get that time. I think he's going to be pressed into service a little bit faster, but I would also argue he's probably the most mature out of this group of three people, considering the fact that he carried the armband for the U20s for Flamengo. He carried the armband for the U20s for Brazil. He was just recently playing in the local cup that Brazil starts their season with, and he got some good games in there. So I think he's up for the task and he's fine there. The cons, because let's hit on it because Luis wanted me to hit on it. The cons are they bust in the first season. They come out as a bust. And so to me, what is a bust, right? A bust is these guys can't give us quality minutes, so they can't fill spots on the roster to help us get through the season. A bust for Thiago is he doesn't have goal contributions. I would argue that's probably a bust. In some way, for Luis Otavio, it's getting bowled over by the league, not being able to tackle, not being able to get in front. Iago, same kind of thing, not being able to tackle, not winning your aerial duels, getting pushed over, this team allowing a lot of goals. And those are the cons, right? But I'm not convinced it's going to happen because this team already has a good core around these players to make it work, right? Like I said before, the only one that's really going to get pressed into service is Iago. But what's his benefit as soon as Robin Jansson gets back? He gets another player who's going to compete with him every single day. Right now, he's going to have someone in Nolan Miller who's going to compete with him every single day because Nolan Miller has been here from the beginning of camp, right? So he has that advantage on Iago that Iago's not going to have. And then besides all of it is even though Robin Jansson had his surgery, do you think Robin Jansson is sitting at home and doing nothing and saying good luck to the team? There ain't no way. Like, we know Robin well enough to know that it's not happening. So if I'm Iago, the first thing I'm doing is I'm connecting with that dude. And I'm saying, hey, captain, oh, captain, how do I get used to this team? How do I get myself to the level? What are things I need to prep myself on? And really ingratiate yourself to that. And then you're going to raise the level. So I don't want to go into this telling everybody you should be excited about these. There's no drawbacks. Everyone shut up. Like, that's not what I'm saying. There is the real potential that these guys could bust, but the quality of U22s that we've gone for this time is much higher than we've ever seen before. We were lucky we hit on Cesar Araujo. We were a little bit lucky that we hit on Enrique.
100%.
He had a little bit more of a pedigree before he came over, but these guys are a pedigree level above all of the rest of that's there. And so I think fans need to understand that. And then plus, don't forget, you're adding that to a talented squad of Martin Ojeda, who had an MVP type season last year, who we fully expect to go back into it again and have an MVP type season again. Marco Pasalic, who started out really hot and had, 17 goal contributions all throughout the season last year. And then we're probably going to add a DP, probably not this window, but most likely in the summer, which is going to add more talent to this team. Duncan McGuire is going to finally have a healthy season going into the season, which is awesome. So that should help this team as well. And then you got Wilder Cartagena back, who's the fulcrum of your entire team in the middle of the park, whether that's playing on the midfield line or maybe sometimes filling in on the defensive line if he needs to. So all of those pieces are already there. You're just adding these guys into the solid structure that exists. And I think that's what people are forgetting. You're forgetting all the pieces around these dudes. Just to plug a little bit here, Luis, I did my countdown for kickoff for Orlando City. If you're on Reddit, it's a big thing that r/MLS does every single season. I wrote the write-up for Orlando City, and one of the things I said in there as a worst-case scenario is, sure, these guys could bust in the first year. But again, none of their positions make it detrimental to Orlando City if they bust, except for maybe Iago if he can't figure it out. But Nolan Miller's been a serviceable fill-in this entire preseason, and I don't want to take anything away from him. And then, guys, don't forget, Robin Jansson will be back. He's not expected to be out for the entire season. So those are things you got to think about with it. I didn't want to be so long-winded about it, but it's just something that frustrates me in the fact of you can't take away these kids' talent. It exists. It just, they're kids as well. They're going to go through any learning cycle like anybody else.
Right now, let's dive into comments and then go into talking about Robin Jansson and then Nolan Miller. Sitch, how you doing, Sitch? Just sing to us. Okay. I'm going to sing you like Bad Bunny. Un saludo. Word, it says, is Thiago playing as a winger or as a false nine?
No, he'll play as a winger, or he'll play as a.
He can play both.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's a false nine. I think he's gonna get in behind kind of nine.
Yeah, he's not a false nine, 100%. Because for the hat, last year the hat sent me back $50. Yeah, I paid for a trucker hat, for a lavender trucker hat, around $50 too when it first came out with the 3 lions. Yeah, so. But anyways, obviously the unfortunate news of Robin Jansson, and talking about center backs. Our captain Robin Jansson was seen, kind of injured, and nobody was talking about it. I think we broke it here first, and unfortunately, it became confirmed that Robin Jansson underwent successful surgery for a Jones fracture in the right foot's 5th metatarsal, performed on February the 3rd, which is the same foot he injured in 2022. No timeline was given, but potentially, and I could say 110% now, he's going to be missing the season opener on February the 21st. He's the all-time appearance leader for the club. Also, it puts Orlando in a bind because the center back depth is a little bit looking flaky. Obviously, Oscar Pareja and his staff is going to rely on David Brecalo and Iago and Nolan Miller to survive the first few games, which the first 4 games for the Lions are going to be definitely testing not only Oscar's depth, but also his tactics and the way how to motivate these young kids. What are your thoughts, John, on Jansson's injury? I heard he needs to. He's gonna get surgery, so he's gonna speed track the process. But you kind of need to let it heal. So there's really no exact timeline. That's what I've been told. What are your thoughts there, John?
Yeah, I mean, Jansen's injured. I think we kind of knew it anyway, and then obviously the club came out and confirmed that he's had surgery, so it's gonna be a while, but I'm not too worried. Like, honestly, I think that I was ready to move on from him. So when they re-signed him to a lesser deal, I expected to see less of Jansen going forward anyway, and kind of taking more of a, backseat role, and really not being a first team, starting center back week in, week out is what I expected from this season. So it's kind of accelerated that timeline. But at his age, with this injury again, he recovered really well last time. Let's hope he can do the same. It's good that he's not SCI, and we're gonna see him at some point. But I don't think we should rely on him even when he comes back, right? I think by that point we should have a new center back pairing, probably Iago and Brekalo, that are comfortable, and then he's there on the bench, but we're not waiting for him to come back. Like, I don't think we should be relying on him this year at all. Too much.
I honestly was expected to see Schlegel and part ways with Jansen. And again, I know I sound very harsh, and probably people are going to be like, well, how dare you, man? But it's just because of the injuries, man. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Schlegel put a lot of minutes the past few seasons for the Lions consistently, and in my opinion, based on what I've seen, right pitch side, he was a better leader. With all due respect to Robin, he rounded out the troops, him, Pedro, and even Martin. Like, there was a little bit more of, like, you see them more present there, with all due respect to Robin. But thoughts, David, on Robin? And now there's nothing we can do. I mean, he's injured. I think we should prepare the next center back lineup. Kind of what John said. Do you agree?
Yeah, the biggest thing I'll say to people is just don't expect him back before the World Cup. I think if you get any games with him before the World Cup, it's a gift at that point. And I don't even mean games as in, he'll walk in and start like right when he comes back. I think there's a real possibility that fans should expect that if this center back pairing does well going into the season, which I imagine they will in due time, he's not going to come back in and necessarily step back in. I think that would be a mistake, honestly, by the coaching staff to go and do that. I think the best way to think about Robin Jansson at this point, because obviously the 2-year deal was signed, it is what it is. I think he's more of a spiritual leader at this point. I think he's just a mentor to people like Iago and Nolan Miller and things like that, and just helping them get up to the level, understand what they need to do, and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it stinks. It's devastating. Obviously, he's our captain. He's a guy we've looked to for a lot of seasons. He's been one of the best defenders on the field for a lot of his tenure at Orlando, but I do think that time is done. And Orlando might have a little bit of buyer's remorse after this is done. I hate to say that. I don't want to be negative about it, but they might have a little bit of remorse bringing him back and kind of giving him that 2-year deal. I always said I thought it should have been a 1+1. I thought that was probably the best way to navigate it. But unfortunately, it kind of is what it is. I agree with Luis to a degree that if I had to pick a choice between having Schlegel or having Jansson, I'd pick Schlegel. But to be honest with you, I'd send both of them, because I just I know Schlegel's been better in recent seasons, but he still has that erratic play. He still has that time where he blows his top and all that. So I'm not mad that Schlegel's gone as well, but I do think Jansson probably should have followed him out the door. But I know the club wasn't going to get rid of both of them at the same time. It just wasn't going to happen. So we'll see what kind of buyer's remorse the front office feels, or how the fans feel about it and things like that. But yeah, just really tragic stuff. And from what I asked I took this a step further, and I asked some people that I know that's in the medical field, specifically somebody who does sports medicine and things like that. And they told me, based on his age and the fact that it is on the same foot that he had his stress fracture, he would be shocked if he came back before the World Cup. He
100%.
basically said, I would just let him ride to the World Cup, get that extra month in that he's probably going to get 2 months in, let him just really heal and see what he can do. And then when he comes back, he might not even be the same player, especially since it's on the fifth, was it?
Metatarsal.
Yeah, metatarsal. Thank you. The fifth metatarsal, that really affects balance and things like that. So This person was like, it all just depends on how his rehab goes. And obviously Orlando City have pretty great people to do that, but he might just never find that exact, sort of position again. So we'll see what happens, but I just, obviously tragic. Glad that we got Iago done. Glad that Nolan Miller is going to get a chance. I still think we're one center back short, though. I still am in that camp. I think there needs to be one more body in that room, but we'll see if they end up addressing it.
I would say personally, just to pass to and then go to Nolan Miller, start studying for your license for coaching, Robin. I'm telling you,
if he doesn't want to leave here, he'd be a great, academy
I think he
coach
would.
or OCB coach for sure.
He would be a phenomenal OCB coach, and
He's a
then
good guy to keep around.
First team or whatever, I think that could happen. Now, I do want to say also, just like I second what David said, because I spoke to somebody within the club about this too. Robin has a nature of pushing himself through injuries. He did it at the end of last season. He wants to play, even if it's with a broken foot. This is an injury that will end his career. You can't. You can't do it. It's in a part of the foot that it has to fully heal, and then after that, you have to give it time to set, and then do ball movements. So just like David was saying about past the World Cup, maybe aim him. Orlando's going to have to look for different center back depth, and then really like go through the doctors and not put him at risk, because that could definitely shorten his career span. If he forces it and then he re-injures it, he could break the whole entire toe, and that will be SCI, ciao, adios. So I understand Robin probably wants to play right now. He wants to suit up. Dude, take your time. Go get your license. Start getting your A, B, C license for the USSF, bro. You could be right now with the experience that he has. He could be a straight up a USL championship coach, easy, like easy.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Luis, like he can still be a spiritual leader in the locker room. Like
100%.
we can still use him in the locker room. We can use him on the touchline in practice. Just because he's kind of held up right now, he should still be around the facility, and I'm sure he will, and that'll be a benefit for everybody around him.
100%. So we're gonna go to Nolan Miller, which obviously John was putting in there right there. Thank you so much, John. So 21-year-old defender Nolan Miller, 9th overall pick in the 2026 MLS Super Draft from the University of Michigan. It's a Wolverine. First team contract to 2026 with options extended to 2028-29. He's also 6'2", according to the notes that I have here. 2-time All Big Ten selection, starting in every college game in his career, 75 starts. A lot of leadership, aerial prowess as well. So a lot of good percentage on aerial duels, according to the notes that I have from FODMOB here. He's also part of the Columbus Crew Academy. So he has faced OCB several times. Also, that's why they feel like, that's how they knew who he was. And that's why it's making him easy and have an easier path to be MLS ready compared to the whole draftee class that we got, like the Harunas and the Yearwoods. He's right now, he was projected as a depth piece, but he's definitely up there to start against the Red Bulls as well, due to the now center back shortages from Robin Jansson's injury. So your opinion about the signing of Miller, John? I think this kid's super talented. I think we've done really well.
I got nothing really to add. I think he's gonna start against the Red Bulls, like we said. I think Iago will probably should take that position as the better probable starting center back right now, but maybe not. Maybe Nolan's so good that he manages to keep his spot. Like in that preseason game I saw, the first one, he looked really good in a partnership with David Brecalo. So if he starts out really well, then Oscar just might not change, and Iago is going to have to push to get in there. Or maybe we see a world where Iago and Miller are partners, and they put Brekalo at like right back or something crazy. I don't know, but we've seen that happen like last year with him at left back. So I think he's going to play a part. He's going to have a role here straight off the bat, and really we've only got 3 center backs. So if there's any injuries, whatever, he's getting in at center back as well. So I think he's a good prospect. I'm excited for him. How much he plays this year, I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Let's read some comments before we go with David. Says Brandon Hilton, how are we feeling about this season? We'll answer in just a second because it's a probably long-winded answer. Read my comments. There you go. I just read your comment, Mr. Sitch. Yeah, sing a song to us, 90 minutes. Okay, 90 minutes. 90 minutes. No, 80, but in 90. You don't think Cartagena would be the other center back? That would be disappointing. I mean, that would be all on Oscar.
That would be an extremely Oscar thing to do.
Maybe if it's a back 3, like a 3-5-2, but why would you do that to yourself? I mean, it's not like we have Alex anymore. Yeah, be honest with you. I'll go safe on that route and go with a back 4.
I think
that's just my opinion.
I think you're wasting part of Cartagena's talent by putting him in the back line. I'm okay with him filling in there if you really need him to, but I just don't think you're getting the best out of Cartagena. Cartagena is a wrecker. Put him in the middle of the field and let him wreck the game.
Yeah.
I think that's really the biggest thing.
David, what are your thoughts on Nolan Miller? Do you feel like he's going to have a lot of minutes compared to Iago?
I think he can. I like Miller a lot. As I talked about in previous pods, I was able to see part of the Lexington game because somebody was nice enough to help me out with that. But I've liked his play so far. From my sources, they've been really high on the kid. They said he's had a really good preseason. He's been really engaged, really trying to learn from as much people as he can. I just think I think he's got the right head on his shoulders to kind of really contribute when he needs to. I'm not as 100% sold as John is that he is starting day one. I think if Iago can come in this week at camp, have a good preseason game midweek, because remember, guys, they've got one more in between, sandwiched in between, and then we'll see who rolls out for Colorado. I think that might be telling for us. If it does end up being Miller and Brekalo, then that's probably what the opening day lineup will be. But if somehow like Iago gets into that game and just wrecks the game, or for example, he starts with Brekalo and does it, I think he really puts his name in the hat and says, hey, this is my spot.
I hope he's that good that they're like, oh, we have to put him in.
Yeah. But again, that's not to take anything away from Nolan Miller, because the other thing too is that, in a 3-back set, I think Miller is also a really nice complement there. I just don't know that we're going to play with 3 in the back, but I think he would be a nice complement to kind of see what that looks like. But well-deserved contract right behind Harvey. It makes a lot of sense. Harvey signs a couple days into preseason. This guy signs a little bit later than maybe I expected. I think I expected him to maybe get a contract a little bit earlier, but I would not be surprised if maybe this is our last first-team draft pick signing. I think the rest of the draft picks might be destined for OCB, but we can talk about that a little bit later.
You missed out, Mitch. Mitch
Ferguson, he's gone, right? He didn't. He's
I was trying to make a joke.
According to sources, he is. I think he is training with another MLS team trying to make their roster. So I do believe he's in
So is he back in? Was it Portland? Was he in Portland?
Is it a pink team?
I didn't get the team, to be honest with you, so I can't really share that with you. But I know his from what I understand, his goal was to break with a first team and get a first team contract, and so I think that's why he decided to go. But now it kind of looks silly with everything that's gone on because he probably had an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, and only sorry, bro. What a waste. You waste your chance, dude. Oh my god.
David, do you have any other insights about preseason that you wanted to share, and any scrimmages?
The scrimmages.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been talking about a lot during the preseason, which sorry, Landon, I'm gonna upset you a little bit here. You're not gonna like this. But one of the things especially Luis has talked about is Ivan Angulo playing in a different position. I can confirm from multiple sources that Ivan Angulo has been the starting right back since Alex Freeman has left the club. So it looks like if everything continues to play out the way that it's going to play out, Ivan Angulo will be your starting right back for Orlando City to start the season in 2026. So that's interesting. It's going to make some people upset, I'm sure.
Well,
but yeah,
I could explain a little bit about that and then give it to John. But
yeah,
the only reason why I said that is because obviously a good source, they're trying to find a partnership. So this is the thing. So he's considered now like one of Oscar's boys. I think everybody knows that, right? I think everyone in the world knows that clearly. But
really?
There is a partnership. So he's such a group guy within the core. So within Pasalic, Ojeda, even Otero, like he hangs out with them and stuff like that. So he's adapted so well. Orlando is his only club. He doesn't think about anything like in Colombia. He's not looking at other clubs. Orlando is his club. So he's so deep within Orlando. They are seeing him kind of like a Kyle Smith. In a way of building a relationship on the wing, because he's definitely his first position was a winger. They're trying to because he's defended really well. They feel developing a partnership between him and Pasalic, it's gonna help.
I think for me, right, when you talk about your Dagger Dans, your Kyle Smiths, the role that they did, they're very good technically. I just don't know if like technically on the ball, like you put Ivan Angulo in center mid, is he going to look comfortable? So those are the kind of players that they can do everything. They could play any position. I just don't know if he's that kind of guy. And I understand what you're saying.
I agree.
But
I agree.
Just play a right back. I don't believe in this. Let's take a guy and find a role for him. Just no, like if you're not, your position is you're in your position or you're not.
John, and I'll say this.
I don't want to see that.
If he went out and won the job, then power to him. Like if that's exactly how it
like
went.
If he's an awesome right back this season, I'll shut up.
Yeah, that's my thing is that I'm sure they tested a lot of players at right back when Alex Freeman left, right? Because they wanted to see what they had internally. And this podcast has been banging the drum for Taifi for a while. And I still believe that Taifi should get an opportunity to go do that. But we know Poppy has his boys. We know Poppy likes to play the guys that have been here for a little bit. So if they put Ivan Angulo there, and we know they put a few people there. Sources have told us that. They tried a few different people at right back. Even Harvey got a run at right back, apparently in Mexico, which I thought was nuts. But they've tried a bunch of people at right back. If Ivan Angulo came out of it and looked like the best right back, then fine. But we don't know that until we see him play there because we know Poppy's affinity to Ivan Angulo. So he might have just found a place for him on the pitch and said, well, he can still help us here because he's quick, so he can recover quickly. He can bomb forward quickly, all that kind of stuff. But
it's the defensive, like positioning and intelligence.
Right. It's for the defensive positioning and,
is he going to be keeping people on side, that kind of stuff.
Allowing Pasalic to truly go forward.
Well,
because if you saw Pasalic last year,
not just forward, but forward and in, because
forward
in, to cut
right?
In. Yeah.
So, in order for Pasalic to exert his full potential, his full power, essentially, they need somebody as fast or faster than him on that to cover him. And they feel they're gonna try Ivan for the tactics of it, but. And this is from a good source, the club wants they're going to push for a right back signing. It's going to be coming. Yeah. And they already told Angulo, you got to fight for your right to be a starter.
Not the party.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I think, and again, I still go back to the fact of, and I think John and I were on it last week, he's a better off the bench, let me smash you in the face after you've been defending for 76 minutes, right? Like, I think he's a better player for that, but I mean, it is what it is. Let me power through some of this other news here that we have from preseason and some stuff to cover here. Sure. The other thing that I want to tell people about, I know we just talked about the young trio of Brazilians. Iago has been doing very well in camp, even though he's been playing half of camp out of position. And by that, I mean they've been playing him more at striker than they have at winger. But according to sources, he is doing so well that apparently he's edging out Spicer for the starting left wing spot, which if anyone who's watched this
Makes
guy
sense.
shouldn't be a surprise to you at all. In a scrimmage that may or may not have happened, I'll put it that way, that may or may not have been on the schedule, I'll put it that way again, he was so good, he earned 2 penalties in that same match and made some people look stupid. So that right there
We're
should
still
tell
talking
you...
about Angulo?
No,
No,
Thiago.
Okay, I was
Thiago.
just like, wait a minute. Wait,
Yeah,
hold
Thiago.
on. Thiago, okay.
So, Thiago
Yeah.
had a nasty game, and
I mean-
may or may not game. We don't know if it existed, but so that should be exciting, especially from the U22 point of like the sort of the stuff that we just talked about. Our other U22, not as positive news. He's still training off to the side, according to what sources have told me. He's still kind of working his way back into fitness, and with his visa taking so long and all that kind of stuff, he hasn't really been super up to speed yet. So we may not. Yes, this is Otavio. So we may not see him as much in the preseason. I would probably be shocked if we see a lot of time from him in the Colorado match, but we'll have to see what that looks like. But he's still kind of getting up to fitness. The other one that I think people will think is interesting, and we talked about this a little bit last week, the team has been testing a 3-4-3 formation this past like week and a half. And this was what I was told was the reason why. They were rolling out a 3-4-3 because they wanted to find a way to get Wilder, Brian Ojeda, and Atuesta all on the field at the same time. So this was a way for them to figure out how to get all 3 of them on the field at the same time. So I'll go ahead and lay it out for you because I was not able to get a graphic over to Luis, so I apologize for that.
That's fine.
But the way it's been described to me is your back would be Crepeau, then it would be Brecalo on the left-hand side of the center back trio, Cartagena in the middle, and Miller on the right-hand side. Then if you move up a line, it's Spicer as the left mid, Brian Ojeda as one of the central mids, and Atuesta as one of the central mids, with Angulo playing the right mid spot. Then the final line, you have Martin Ojeda playing on the left-hand side as a left winger cutting in. You have Marco Paslic as a right winger cutting left, and then Duncan Maguire, of course, playing striker. So that's how it's been described to me as how they've been sort of rolling out the 3-4-3. And they also believe that it puts Angulo in a better position because he isn't asked to as naturally defend because he's got the 3 center backs as coverage for that. So again, that was a test that apparently the coaching staff was running the past week and a half. I will give Oscar credit for trying something different because we've been banging the drum all offseason for him to try something new. So I appreciate that. But I don't think this lineup is it. Personally, I don't think this is the way to approach it at all.
I think like if we want to go attacking, I'm cool with that. If they just want to like for like late in game states or chasing a game and you're like, hey, let's do this so we can have 3 back with our wingers and go all out. Like I'm fine with that. But like, yeah, I agree.
And then so for sort of the last couple tidbits that I have here, Justin Ellis, we've been talking about it for a couple weeks, but Justin Ellis should be announced soon. From what sources have told me, that contract is signed. So I'm not sure what we're waiting on. Maybe they're just waiting for the right time, maybe for the jersey reveal to get done. I don't know. But that should get done. We still expect him to sign with the team, so that there's a little bit of striker depth for anyone that was worried about what that looked like. And then I did hear that Harvey and Spicer have been dealing with knocks, but they don't sound serious on either front. So it just sounds like a preseason training, just kind of knock there. So no big deal. And then the last one that I have is, and I kind of alluded to this before, it does not sound like Jalen Yearwood or Haruna will get a first team contract. It sounds like they both will be offered an OCB contract, but we're not 100% sure if they're amenable to getting a OCB contract. I think Haruna is a little bit more agreeable to taking an OCB contract, but we're not really sure where Yearwood sits, so he may not.
Where's he gonna go?
I mean, I don't know, but he may not be filling out the roster on the top end. But that's kind of where we're at. So that's all kind of all the news and stuff that I've heard from sources over the past week. Some interesting tidbits in there for sure.
Now I know John was putting the picture of Asamat Bagatov right here. So, all right. So this is there was some news that connected Nariman Akunzade from Azerbaijan, is Azerbaijan, I believe. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. The country
Azerbaijani.
Azerbaijan. Sorry. There were this guy Asamat Bagatov, Fuat Alakabarov. He posted it and said, literally verbatim, Orlando City have completed the signing of a striker. And so I'm thinking back, and I was like, yo, this name sounds freaking familiar. And so I went back a year ago, and then I saw that he was reported also by a fake website, Markash News or whatever from Albania, that the writer for that website was some wannabe Albanian rapper that doesn't exist called Jenny Gotti that has a really cool song, I do want to say. But it's just a fake site. It's just for you to click and then retweet, and then they make it big. And yeah, he was covered for them. And then after that, I'm like, yeah, sounds kind of weird. So let me dig in. So I asked a source from the club, essentially. I'm not going to reveal who it was, but it was somebody that he pretty much said, who? We've never heard of this guy. Never heard of this guy. He says, no, we're not looking right now for somebody, his profile. We've never heard of this guy. We don't know who he is. And we're looking for a right back. And they said a potential youth 9, not necessarily a 9, but it's a youth attacker. So they want a DP youth attacker. So a DP, so they're going to offer a DP contract to a potential youth attacker, somebody, not necessarily a 9, because probably they see Iago as well, but they feel there's going to be an attacker nonetheless. So a DP is going to come for sure. They're working on that, and a right back. But Anariman Akunzade, it's not the man, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, we had to put the, falls that rumor. But again, we heard like today as well that Tommy Scoops, the Scoopy Bum, Tom Bogert said that Nariman Akunzada from Karabag FC has joined Columbus Crew. So good for him. Welcome to the MLS, Nariman.
It's a very Columbus signing, I gotta say.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about what's his name, the guy from Philly that he, the Israeli one, the Israeli guy.
Baribo.
Baribo killed it in the MLS.
Yeah, he's at DC now. Yeah,
and he cost $5, like straight up. Like he was so cheap, So maybe it works out for them. I like it was not my intention whatsoever to. I mean, my intention was to just give the news. Orlando didn't know who this guy was, but Columbus certainly did. So good for them, because probably this guy's gonna kill it here. Again, I wish him the best. I mean, he really didn't have some of the best stats, to be honest with you, personally. I mean, that's just my opinion. And again, just like David said, it's kind of like weird. Like you go from Brazil core to like to Azerbaijan. Like it's just there's a disconnect there. I don't know if Orlando will go now. Columbus, I'm not surprised, because I think they have looked always, especially in attackers. They had a Peruvian attacker in the 90s, in the early 2000s, Mendoza. He was a killer, a great guy. They've had, obviously in Philly, there's Ty Baribo. It was Ty Baribo. Now he's in DC. So you see that more over there up north. I don't know about Orlando, though, but that's a little bit of the news there. But good for Tom for breaking it down, and good for the kid, because he's definitely, going from Azerbaijan to Columbus is a huge difference. Wish him nothing but the best. So hopefully not against Orlando, though. Although, can we call him Jump Forever Online? Forever a rumor. It says, I remember I tagged you guys in a comment on Facebook about Akunzade and you immediately cleared the air. False rumor. Props for that. It says basically, keep thank you. He had his chance last year and did nothing, and Golan needs to be on the bench. There you go, Landon. He's gonna come sit next to you in your section next time. I'm gonna give you his jersey. No, but anyways, now we have we already talked about preseason. We talked about Jansen. We talked about Nolan Miller. We talked about
Luis,
Iago.
let's talk about the rest of preseason here, like what's left, because it's important for the fans to kind of know where we're at. So as you guys know, we have the actually, let me take a step back. Our last game was against Nashville. I'm sure a lot of you guys maybe saw some stuff. The club didn't provide a lot of updates. Only Nashville did. So we had to get all of our stuff through Nashville. But that match did end 2-2. That was a 120-minute match as well. Both teams agreed to playing 120 minutes in that match. So, yeah, marathon match there. The goal that they showed that Ojeda scored was actually a free kick. So, awesome job from Ojeda to hit that top bins. And then Thiago got the other goal in extra time. So, guys, here's Thiago. I keep telling you all. Anyway, he got that. We kept a clean sheet through the 55th minute, so our defense did pretty well for most of the match. We got scored on an aerial goal again. That's 3 aerial goals that we've given up this entire preseason. I don't want to say there's a trend, but I think there's a trend, so we need to be careful with that. So hopefully with Iago in there, he can help us win some of those aerial duels, because yikes, we're having difficulty. Anyway, looking forward, this week, remember, midweek on the 11th, the day after the jersey reveal, which will be Wednesday, the boys will head down to Tampa to face FC Cincinnati. I would expect that match to be a rotated match for the boys. I doubt the first choice lineup will get a lot of run, because obviously with Colorado being on the weekend, they're probably going to focus on that. And then, of course, the big spectacle that everyone's excited for, the season ticket member preseason match against Colorado, will be this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. We'll be back at Inter & Co. Boy, will it feel great to be back at Inter & Co. That match, I would imagine, is going to probably start with what's pretty close to a starting 11 for Orlando City. So we should get a pretty good idea of what that looks like, because I would imagine they'd want to show off a little bit, barring any injuries, which, knock on wood, please, I hope we don't have any. But that should be your first choice lineup. So that should be pretty exciting for us to see. And then if you're a season ticket member and haven't claimed it yet, make sure you follow the link that your season ticket rep sent you. But at this point, if you can't find the link, please hurry to your season ticket rep and get that resolved, because I think it's important for folks to get that. And then, yeah, of course, it's a lovely day to spend Valentine's Day with Orlando City. Who needs dinner? Who needs the fancy flowers? Who needs the rest of it? Just go to an Orlando City preseason
Grand Bohemian
game.
right nearby. Grand Bohemian.
There you go.
And
then your loved one can buy you an Orlando City kit, because I'm sure they'll be for sale at the stadium.
Now, I wanted to ask you: do you know where the Tampa game is going to be played?
It's at the Water Sportsplex. I don't know if you've ever been there before.
No,
it's just in the sea. It's just in the ocean. They're just playing in the bay. It's in
Clearwater
Tampa
Beach,
Bay.
North Beach.
I'll have to remember exactly where it is. I've actually been there. For those in the chat that don't know, I'm from Clearwater originally, so I'm from that area.
Oh.
So when they said Water Sportsplex, I kind of know where that is. So yeah, they're playing at the Water.
Is it Clearwater for real?
No, it's closer to Tampa. It's like right on the line, basically.
Around the line. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna maybe I'll ask to see maybe if I can go. I mean, what day is it?
Wednesday.
Wednesday at what time?
It's probably 11. Most of their preseason.
Is it open to the public or no?
No, it's closed door.
Oh. So
yeah. So I doubt it, but here's the thing: Cincinnati has had media here with them in Florida. I think like 1 or 2 people have been following them in Florida.
If I can come.
So I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, according to Cincinnati's site, it is at 11 o'clock on February 11th at the Waters Sportsplex.
11 o'clock. Go on my break. Go right.
So so that's where the boys will be playing over there. So hopefully, we probably won't give updates, but I'm sure the other team probably will, because they've been really good about that during the preseason. So yeah, we'll see how that is. It'll be interesting. Like I said, I think it's going to probably be heavily rotated. I'd imagine it would be ahead of Colorado, and the Colorado game should be good because no offense to Colorado fans, but their team's been getting smacked around this preseason. They have not had a very good preseason so far. So
They lost
might be a fun
Colorado
game.
legend Rafael Santos.
Yeah. Well, wait, isn't he with St. Louis now? I think he's with St. Louis now.
Yeah, he's gonna wear that hideous what is it called? Like it's like a neon pink kit.
I'll say this for one last thing. I want to get on my soapbox. I've been watching some of the Coachella Invitational matches that a lot of the like Western Conference teams have been in. Why are we not doing that kind of tournament in Florida? We're missing such a big opportunity, man. I'm telling you. What a great atmosphere,
right,
man.
Sir.
Ugh, I wish. And the problem is because we've got silly season coming up and then we're flipping the calendar, we're not going to have like any time to do that between now and when we flip the calendar. But maybe once we get to the first like full off season after the calendar flip, Ricardo, let's start putting together the Orlando City Invitational again or something and get that going. Cause
like I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I'm talking smack, but I've heard from a lot of fans, and you know, we have a lot of social media interactions. A lot of fans saying, for both Pride and City, we don't know absolutely. If it wasn't for your show, we wouldn't have absolutely nothing at all. It's one of the most quietest preseasons in history. So it's either they're cooking something, you know, like super good. They're cooking a U.S. Open Cup or a Leagues Cup or an MLS Cup, or
I'll take Supporter Shield. That's fine too. I'll take the Shield.
Yeah,
that's
they haven't, you know, and for Pride is even worse. Like for Pride, like all I know is their IMG, you know, and then they talk about Bad Bunny today, you know, on their stories. That's all we know. Like, and so I feel like an invitational, just kind of like what David was saying, it'll be amazing, bro. Like you're talking about doing a little cup, you know, like Barcelona has the Joao Gamper or whatever. You do something like that for Orlando, like the Florida Cup. I mean, I know that you have the Florida series or whatever.
Yeah,
something a little bit different.
Well, maybe when they redo Heritage Park, because I know they're still trying to go forward with that project. Yes. Maybe when they redo the facility over there, and maybe John knows a little bit more about this than maybe what I know, but maybe when they redo the facility and get all the fields like finally sketched out, because I know they're trying to put everyone under one roof, that might be the place to do it, because I bet they don't want to pay to open the stadium, which is fine, but like go to a smaller venue.
Yeah,
like maybe they can do it at Osceola Heritage and do stuff over there, you know?
Not necessarily. You could play in Brevard, you could play, you could play in Bradenton. So what I'm trying to say is like try to have, like you could play the Rowdies, you could play like colleges, you know what I mean? Like
look
UCF.
Look how many teams broke down here though. Like Cincinnati's been here for a lot of the preseason. Yeah. Colorado's here for the preseason. Montreal. All these teams are down here for the preseason. So it's like baseball, right? A lot of teams are either going west or south, and that's kind of like the trend that's going on. So like, why not give them a little bit more incentive to say, hey, come on down and we'll make it a thing.
People like to compare themselves to Inter Miami, and I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to piss people off right now, but Inter Miami is doing a complete opposite thing. They have obviously Lionel Messi. He brings butts in seats. And so what they do is they charge teams down south and they play their season openers. So they've done the Peruvian Alianza Lima's home opener. They've done the Atlético Nacional's home opener. They've done the Barcelona of Guayaquil in Ecuador's home opener. And you have Messi feeling that, but they're getting this competition that it's better than playing at Columbus, Spain, than playing at Colorado, because they're playing teams that are they're more than contenders for Copa Libertadores. And so they're getting those, players or newcomers or whatever to their team geared up right away. Yeah, they're taking some L's, But for example, they just got 2 back-to-back wins against the Colombian champions and the Ecuadorian champions. They lost against the Peruvians.
No, they tied Ecuador. It was 2-2.
Okay, so they tied Ecuador.
Yeah, they got a red card from their young
Right,
defensive midfielder
but
they just brought in.
we see going from losing 3-0 to then winning 2-1, then to tying 2-2. So that it's what I mean. Can we conform of just playing close scrimmage doors? Like, it's not fun for the fans either. You know, if I'm a fan, I'll be like, you know what I mean? Like, this is boring. You know, like, this is boring. You know, well, sorry guys, but it's just my opinion. I think a cup should be great to have. I mean, I know the logistics are a little bit of a bitch to do, and you have to pay people for it because, you know, you're gonna have to bring your PRs and you have to bring your. But I think it'll be good for the club on the long run. I don't know. We'll get some more comments here. Frankie Cosmos, if Thiago's teeth are any indication, his future is going to be bright and shiny, says Frankie. What's good, fam? Excited for this weekend, says Frankie Cosmos. Can't wait to spend my Valentine's Day with Orlando City.
Absolutely.
Orlando City versus Orlando. Yeah, we should definitely do that. Should definitely have Paulo Banchero.
And which sport, though? Because we've got to mix.
No.
Like, do we do 1 and 1? We play soccer one time, then we play basketball another time?
100%.
Iago could probably dunk on a dude. I bet he could.
Iago could.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong that the Iceman couldn't dunk on somebody.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
So, John, anything you want to add? Do we have anything else we need to discuss? I know that we're going to be having our predictions. We're going to have a video for our predictions coming up probably Wednesday or Thursday. And we'll let you guys check out our socials. Anything you want to add, John, before we go?
Oh, go ahead, John.
David, what do you want to say?
No, I'll chime in afterwards. It's good. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, we're gonna have our predictions pod out. Usually we do it with Taylor from Orlando City, UK, but he is having a baby or has had a baby, so he is moving, away from being so much involved. So we miss him, but of course we've got David here, so look out for that as we come out later this week. I've also been on the preseason preview train. I went on the designated players. I'm going to go on designated pundits coming up soon, as well as battered MLS fans. So I'll be posting those, so look out for that. And then also on my channel, I'm going to be doing a conversation with Fabian Rankel as we talk big picture MLS stuff. So that'll be coming out soon as well. So yeah, I'm just making content over here. So check me out.
David, I know that you were at another podcast as well in 90 minutes. I think
yeah, so I joined the In 90 Minutes guys, their Extra Time podcast. So that's the one that is with John W. A lot of Johns. I have to specify which John. John W. and Luke from the In 90 Minutes crew. That podcast is all about like 1 or 2 topics that they focus on that they can't really spend a lot of time on in the main show. So this go round, we talked about young players, Oscar Pareja's willingness or unwillingness to play them. And then we also ended on a supporter group conversation, which I thought was very interesting and kind of eye-opening a little bit there. If you guys didn't see on Reddit last week, there was a very spirited conversation about supporter groups. So that made it into their show over there. So I joined them to go do that. Like I said earlier today, I posted my countdown to kickoff for Orlando City. That piece was a wonderful 4,000 plus words. I am just in writing mode this offseason. It's been nuts. So that got posted today. So that's on Reddit if you'd like to take a look at that. And then literally as this podcast went live, the Reddit team in concert with everybody else that's out there in the Orlando City media, we put together a preseason survey to get everyone's thoughts on what they feel like the team where the team is at. We'll be sure to post that link on all of our socials for LPO. Yes. You can also find it on the subreddit right now. I'll post it from my socials as well, but we want to get as many Orlando City fans to take it as they can. 2 things I want to make clear about the survey. Number 1, if there's a question that you don't know the answer to, that's fine. You don't have to answer it. It doesn't require you to answer any specific questions, so that should be really easy. And then as you go through, it's going to ask you questions about how you feel about the roster. Remember, it's all about your feelings about these things. It's not speculation. It's not, I think they're going to be good. I don't think so, blah, blah,
How you
blah. It's all
feel?
about, it's all about how you feel in the preseason, in the moment. And then it asks you some of the normal questions that you're going to see in our predictions episode when we put that out later this week. It asks you questions like MVP, top scorer, defender of the year, things like that. So all that'll be on there for you. We would love to get as many fans as we can to take that. And then, of course, the way we'll share that, you have about a week. It's going to close on the morning of the 18th. So it's going to close then. That'll give me enough time to break down the results. And then I'll either hop on with these guys or maybe do something solo. It just depends on who's available. But I'll hop on and I'll have a video breaking it down, showing everybody what the results were, what people thought, kind of see the overall feelings going into the season. I'd love to get a great pulse on the fan base before we get started. And then, of course, the written content will get posted onto Reddit and then on the LPO site as we go to break it down and kind of see what we look like. So please feel free to take it, answer whatever questions you feel most comfortable with. And then please know that the demographics part, we are not saving for anything. We're just using that as just to see where our fans are across the world. We've got a lot of international fans. We've got a lot of fans in different states. We just wanted to get a nice pulse of like, where are fans coming from besides Orlando and Florida? We'd love to see kind of where everyone else is at. So really exciting stuff there. I probably have one more big piece that will come out on the LPO site, kind of giving my thoughts as we go into opening day. I'll also make sure that I have a kind of one of us between Luis and I will probably have a recap of the preseason match against Colorado. So expect to see something about that and sort of our last thoughts on that. But yeah, we're having a great go. Oh, and last but not least, I don't want to forget the OCB boys. We will be covering OCB this year. I have a whole slate of stuff that I'll be putting out for OCB. We'll let you guys know what that content's going to look like. But at the bare minimum, you will see some written content about OCB. Unfortunately, the three of us are going to miss the opening OCB match because it's on Monday night when we record, which stinks. So that's not fun. But we definitely plan to cover OCB big time. It might eventually go into video and podcast format. We're still feeling out how we're going to cover them, but we definitely plan to cover the Young Lions as we start to see a lot of talent come out of there. So we're excited about this season for sure.
I do want to tell you guys a little bit about LPO. We are obviously as the season's coming up, we're putting out also all sort of different content too this year. We're going to be putting definitely the Tampa Bay Sun pod is happening. It's going to be just a pre-recorded pod, 15-30 minutes for all the WOSO fans. There's also going to be a Spanish weekly show on LPO about what happened during the week. Once a week. It's going to be probably between 10 to 15 minutes of your time if you guys care. It's not going to go any further than that. It's going to be quick, just like a Bad Bunny song, right? We're also going to have already talked to some colleagues from the press box. I want to kind of invite them to kind of preview some of the clubs shenanigans happening. So there's going to be a series of that. Some hot takes as well happening this year, and probably working into having 2 pods a week for LPO during the regular season. So just stay tuned for all of that that's coming out. There's going to be more content. So obviously the press releases and all of that, we don't want to take away. I mean, a lot of people have messaged me saying, hey, why don't you do like an IRL of you at the press box? I can't do that. Can't do an IRL right there at the press box. But what we can do is I can give my opinions maybe right after, and uploaded them, kind of like a short video, kind of previewing what the pod's going to talk about on Monday. They're going to do deep dives. So maybe that's happening, we really don't want to take away about what the Orlando City Lions Den's guys are doing with their
absolutely
with their what's it called with
Den After Dark. Yeah.
Den After Dark. Yeah, we don't want to take away from that at all.
If you guys haven't jumped in there, I definitely recommend it. It's be careful if you've got kids in the car because they don't censor anything.
I've heard.
You got to be careful. One of the things, Luis, while you're on this note, John and I potentially talked about doing some pregame stuff Potentially, we'll see what that looks like. But if you guys are interested in pregame content, and by that I mean, like, would you like John and I to give you like a quick preview of the match while we're there? Maybe the lineup's out, we could talk about it real quick. Or is there like, maybe if we even can, and we'll have to see what this looks like, would you guys benefit from us being live and being able to ask us questions? Like, let us know if that's something that you're interested in, because John and I can try to feel that out and see what that looks like, because we're a little bit more free than obviously Luis is on game days with him being in the box. So we'll see. At the very least, though, we do plan to have sort of a prep podcast earlier in the week to talk about obviously our opponent and all those kind of things. We just wanted to see if there was something in the moment that you guys were interested in. So let us know if you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a packed year, obviously, for a lot of content from John, from David, myself. So it's all going to be within the LPO, so it's going to be fantastic. So I look forward to the season. So hopefully if the club's listening, we're probably going to be emailing you about covering OCB, but it's going to be fun. I mean, I think it's going to be positive. We have a couple of more comments before we end the show today. Thank you so much for your support. Over 130 people live. It says, yes, more John Rollins content. There you go. You got a super fan, and then John Frankie Cosmos. Landon says, LPO live from the wall. I mean, that'd be fantastic. But I'll get probably. If I do that, I have to dress up as a skinhead.
Yeah,
I would
we
definitely do
can't
that.
do that.
Wear my Doc Martens, steel toe boots, Ox Bloods. It says over under Marco Pasalic leaving the team before 2027. Depends on this season.
I'm smashing the over. I think he's gone because I think he balls out. I think he balls out with us. Then he does well at the World Cup, and I think we get an offer we can't refuse.
I agree with you.
He's in the shopping window World Cup big time.
We need to invite Sepultura to play. Oh man, don't tell me about Death Embryonic Cells, Territory, Refuse Resist, Arise, Troops of Doom. There you go, man. I love Sepultura. We should definitely do that. It'll be fantastic. Let's hope for a clean slate for injury during the last few preseason matches and hard-hitting start of the regular season. Vamos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Well, anyways.
I thought of one last thing before we go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We know last week there were some issues with like levels on the microphone, so please let us know in the comments if you can hear everybody okay and nobody's too loud or quiet.
Everybody, I didn't mean to come off as
hopefully
as
it sounds better this week for you guys, but we need that feedback from you if it happens, so let us know. So we appreciate that.
No, yeah, we appreciate all your feedback, guys. Like I think from everybody that's watching, like feel free to let us know if we need to improve or whatever. We love constructive criticism here. Anyways, we thank you so much for your support. Over 130 people live. Again, we'll see you guys next week with more LPO. We didn't have a Pride Pod this week because there's really no news. Probably going to put some pre-recorded content, but stay tuned because within this week, we'll announce a hot takes video of our predictions of 2026. It's going to be coming in the next few days. Thank you, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you, David. And again, vamos Orlando. Take care, guys.